Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take, well, a whole pile of sources, articles, specs, analysis, you name it, and boil it all down to what really matters for you. Today, we're diving into something genuinely interesting in the EV space, especially if you live in a city. We're talking about the NIO Firefly. Our mission, as always, is to sift through everything we found, the official announcements, the market reports, so you can get a really solid handle on this new car quickly. We're looking for the key stuff, the unique angles, maybe those aha moments. Is this thing a real game changer or, just another EV? What's the story?
And that's exactly the right way to frame it. This isn't just NIO churning out another electric car. The Firefly feels like a very calculated move. It signals a specific strategy for urban electric mobility, particularly aimed squarely at Europe. It's definitely a statement about where they want to play.
Okay, let's get right to it then. What is the NIO Firefly, fundamentally? And why should you, listening now, really pay attention to this one? Well, at its heart, it's a compact electric city car. Comes from NIO, the Chinese brand. Many of you probably know them for their bigger, more premium electric vehicles. But here's the really interesting part and why we're digging in today. The Firefly isn't just another model line. No, it's the first car for a whole new sub-brand. A sub-brand they've apparently designed specifically for Europe and, well, global markets too. They unveiled it officially at NIO Day 2024. That tells me they're taking this very seriously. It's not some side hustle.
Yeah, and what's really striking is how targeted the strategy is. The Firefly isn't trying to be everything to everyone. It's aimed directly, like a laser beam, at competing with established European city EVs. Think the smart #1, the electric Mini Cooper S. It falls into what they call segment B. And that segment is huge in Europe. It's not niche at all. Small, agile cars are basically the lifeblood of urban transport there. Think about those old city centers, the tight parking. Smaller cars just make more sense for a lot of people due to running costs, parking,
Yeah.
everything. So a really well thought out segment B EV, that could absolutely hit the sweet spot. And NIO seems determined to grab a big piece of that pie.
Okay, that definitely gets my attention.
Okay.
Because the EV market is getting crowded, right? Seems
Yeah.
like there's a new one every week.
Mm.
So what's NIO's big selling point here? What makes the Firefly stand out beyond just being small and electric? What are they really hanging their hat on?
Well, I think it starts with a really focused design approach. They seem to have obsessed over urban practicality. You see it in the size, sure, but also how they've used the space inside.
Right, let's unpack that. The design, the dimensions, how it's built for that urban jungle environment. We're looking at a car that's about 4,003 millimeters long, so just over 4 meters. Width is 1,781 millimeters. Height, 1,557 millimeters. And the wheelbase is 2,615 millimeters. Now, if you've ever tried parking in, say, Rome or Paris, those numbers sound pretty good. They really scream city-friendly, perfect for those narrow streets. And visually, it's got its own look, definitely original. That triple front projector design is quite distinctive, kind of bold looking. It won't just disappear into the crowd.
Exactly. The outside look is, well, noticeable, but it clearly serves that practical purpose. Inside, though, it's more minimalist. That's a common trend now in EVs. But don't let the minimalism fool you. There are some surprisingly practical touches, like the boot space. For a car this size, 404 liters is actually really generous. That's more than some cars in the class above it. And then, if you fold the seats down, it goes up to 12,253 liters. That's properly useful space.
Yeah, you could genuinely fit a decent amount in there. Groceries, luggage, maybe even some smaller flat pack stuff.
Yeah.
Not what you always expect from a small city car. And speaking of practical stuff, here's the bit that really made me go, huh, that's smart. It had a washable 92-liter front trunk, a frunk you can rinse out. When I read that, I thought, why doesn't everyone do this? It's brilliant.
You're right.
Imagine, like, muddy boots, wet beach towels, leaky grocery bags. You chuck them in the frunk, no worries. And if it gets dirty, hose it down. That's not just neat. It actually solves a real-world problem for city drivers.
It really does. And all these choices, the size, the storage front and back, they all point back to that core mission, make urban driving easier. They've apparently also focused on giving it a tight turning radius. Again, specifically for navigating those cramped city streets, making U-turns less of a nightmare, and tackling tricky parking spots. It's all about agility.
Okay, so the physical design is clearly tailored for city life. Very practical. That washable frunk is genius. But what about the tech? A modern city car needs good tech inside too. What's the story there?
Well, inside you get that dual screen setup. That's pretty standard now. There's a small 6-inch screen behind the steering wheel for your main driving info, and then a bigger 13.2-inch central touchscreen handles pretty much everything else. Infotainment, navigation, climate, car settings. It looks quite clean, designed to be intuitive.
And I saw something about a parking system. A sophisticated driver-independent automatic parking system. That sounds potentially amazing for city dwellers. What does driver-independent really mean here? Is it a proper hands-off system?
It sounds like it's aiming for that, yeah. Driver independence suggests the car can handle the whole parking process, finding the spot, steering, throttle, brakes with you just supervising. Think about parallel parking on a busy street. That's stressful. If this system works well, it's not just a gimmick. It's a massive stress reliever. Pull up, press a button, the car slots itself in. That could genuinely make city driving much more pleasant, especially if you hate parking or you're in a really tight spot.
Honestly, that sounds like a dream for parking in my area.
Yeah.
Okay, what about performance? Even city cars need to feel responsive. What's powering the Firefly?
It uses a 105 kilowatt electric motor that translates to about 143 horsepower, and it delivers 200 newton meters of torque. For a car this size aimed at the city, that's actually quite punchy. Should feel nippy in traffic, no problem getting up to speed on city expressways. The specs say 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.1 seconds. Top speed is limited to 150 kilometers, so perfectly adequate for city use and short trips outside town.
Makes sense. And the crucial EV question. Battery and range. What are we looking at?
It's got a 42.1 kilowatt hour battery using LFP chemistry lithium iron phosphate.
LFP. Becoming common, right?
Very common, especially for city cars. LFP might not be the absolute most energy dense, but it's known for being durable, stable, handling lots of charge cycles well, and it tends to be a bit cheaper, so a very practical choice for this kind of car. With that battery, the official WLTP range is estimated around 330 kilometers.
Okay, 330-kilometer WLTP. For purely city driving, that's easily multiple days between charges for most people. Pretty usable. But, and here's where it gets really interesting, possibly disruptive even, especially in Europe. The Firefly has automatic battery swap capability.
Yes, this is NIO's big differentiator across their lineup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of plugging in and waiting maybe half an hour, maybe hours, you drive into one of their power swap stations. And like in minutes, literally, the time it takes to fill a petrol tank, a robot swaps your empty battery for a fully charged one. Think about that in Europe. Lots of people live in apartments, no easy home charging. Public chargers can be busy or sometimes unreliable. Battery swapping just bypasses all that. It tackles range anxiety, charging time, even worries about battery health long term because you're always getting a fresh checked battery.
Yeah.
It's a huge infrastructure commitment from NIO, but potentially a massive advantage.
It absolutely connects to their bigger picture for EV adoption. Battery swapping is a unique solution to those key pain points. Charging time and grid load, especially in dense cities. It's not just a feature for NIO, it's fundamental to their whole ecosystem. They've been building these swap stations across Europe already. It's a serious investment. And yeah, it could definitely attract buyers put off by the current charging situation. It offers a level of convenience that's just unmatched by plugging in. It's a bold move.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Safety. Always critical, especially for a family city car. What do we know about its construction and safety goals?
They're highlighting the construction. 84% of the body uses high-strength steel and aluminum. That suggests a strong focus on structural rigidity, for crash protection. And they're not shy about their target, aiming for a full 5-star rating in the Euro NCAP crash tests.
That's ambitious. 5 stars isn't easy.
No, it's really tough. Achieving that demonstrates a serious commitment to meeting Europe's very high safety standards. It's a strong signal to potential buyers about occupant protection.
Right. And the all-important question, price. What's the ballpark figure for Europe?
The target starting price seems to be around 29,900 euros.
Okay, just under that 30K mark.
Yeah, which is very strategic for this segment. It puts it right up against competitors like the Electric Mini or the Smart #1, but potentially with more tech and that unique battery swap option. They're clearly trying to make it an accessible entry point into their ecosystem, aiming for volume. It positions the Firefly as a pretty strong value proposition, I think.
And when can people actually expect to see these on the road? What's the launch plan?
The plan is to debut first in select markets, specifically Norway and the Netherlands, starting in the summer of 2025. After that initial launch, they're planning a promotional tour across other European cities. So more people will get to see it, maybe test drive it, before it rolls out more widely.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Our deep dive into the NIO Firefly. What are the main takeaways? We've seen this really focused urban design, some genuinely clever practical features that boot space, the washable frunk, I'm still impressed by that. There's advanced tech like the automatic parking. And then the potentially huge differentiator,
Right.
automatic battery swapping. It really feels like NIO has put a lot of thought into what a European city driver actually needs and wants. I have to admit, looking at the whole package, it's quite compelling on paper.
I agree. It represents a very clear vision from NIO, a tech-forward, practical, versatile EV specifically honed for city life in Europe. That launch, starting in 2025, really signals their ambition to make a big impact in the small electric car market here. They're offering a blend of features and convenience that feels quite fresh for this segment.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. What does the arrival of a car like the NIO Firefly, with its specific urban focus and that battery swap tech, really mean for the future of owning an EV in Europe? Could this kind of innovation change how we think about daily commutes, about EV practicality, and what does it mean for the infrastructure we'll need going forward? It's definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. A space worth keeping an eye on.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive on the NIO Firefly. We hope this breakdown was useful. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on the next one.